Okay, Saeed. This week, News and Storytelling 1, we're talking about taking photographs.
Fantastic.
It's fantastic, but I'm going to say this. There's loads and loads of pictures. Photography is ubiquitous. You know, everywhere you go, it's easy to take a picture. You don't really have to think about it. What's the quality of pictures like, would you say, in storytelling, when people take pictures? You know, like if they do a snapshot, are people good at taking pictures?
It depends. You need to define good. But
This is like you're doing a PhD, aren't you? Sorry about that.
I think the quality of images has diminished generally.
Okay, so we've got the quantities increased, but quality is still in a short supply.
If you look at the stats, and we're not going to get that technical, but there are millions and millions of photos taken every moment of the day, and millions uploaded to social media.
So billions in the
so billions within a day. I'll get the stats for you and give you those in class, but it's just that the quality of those individual pictures is pretty poor. So hopefully, I'm going to help you and teach you how to take a better image without much thought about what you're doing with it. You know.
Okay, so just jump in there without much thought. So is it so they're not too critical? What do you mean much thought? Or what?
No, I mean you're not. What we're not going to do is train you to be a photographer, but what we're going to train you to do is to have a better understanding on how to capture a better image.
Okay, so is that storytelling in itself, in the sense of we've concentrated on the words? I've always said there's no story about picture, which is a bit of a sort of journalistic cliche.
If you, and this is something I always talk about, if you pick up a magazine and flick from page to page, what makes you stop on an article? I'm asking you this.
Yeah. Okay.
So you stop an article because of the image, don't you?
Well, I'd also go to say like this. Before, I don't think I would ever or seldom invest in an article, no matter what the publication is, if it was just a dreary load of type.
Exactly that. And you might have the best story in the world about an amazing brain surgeon.
Yeah.
Brilliant story that you've researched, you investigated all this stuff, you've researched it for months and months and months, but you don't have any pictures of the brain surgeon or the brain surgery or anything to do with it. So all you've got is a single page with 2,500 words on it with no images. No one's ever going to read it.
Okay, and what I would go and say, if we're talking now, we've gone to a page, we've kind of moved it on. We've gone from pictures to now pictures being in the context of a page. What I would go and say is sometimes, a lot of time with students, they take a picture, so they're telling a story, and the image almost fights against the story. I don't know if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
they've got an image, but it's not appropriate, and it's at odds with what they're trying to say.
I have noticed this very recently, and it's I think it's a very common problem that it's not just students, but I'm going to talk in the context of students. They have to use an image somewhere, so they just grab any old image they want to, and it doesn't, as you say, talk to the story.
Yeah. So it's not sympathetic.
Yeah, exactly.
And it does need a lot of thought, because what I go and say, for me, I always say to them, God is in the detail on an image. But for me, a really good photographer, and this is good photography, and I know you say you're not really going to do that, but for me, to a certain extent, it's sometimes a good picture, see something that the world didn't see. It's sort of like zooming in on something.
100%. And where I kind of said that just now is what I'm not going to do is ram photography down the students' throats that you must be the most amazing photographer in the world. But I'm just going to give them some quick, simple little tips to improve their basic photography, and that will improve everything down the line.
Everything, and just in essence, I go and say like this. I'm interested to get those little tips. Just have you got one little favourite one you could go and share with us, in the sense of, is it think before you go and take a picture? What is there anything, if you would say?
Actually, no, it's exactly that. Have you attended my class? I think you have. Think before you take, every time you push the shutter, I know it's not a real shutter anymore, but every time you capture that image, think to yourself, is this picture of this subject at this time the best possible picture I could possibly take? If the answer to any of those is no, change something.
Okay, we are done. Thank you so much.
No worries.
I salute you. Take care. We're done.